Oh, it's the lunchtime preview. Matt's just like he pulled back in his seat there like he'd hurt his back. I was worried about him. I'm very low down here.
You are, mate, yeah.
The seat doesn't move up that well. This is the Anfield Wraps lunchtime show. Neil Atkins and Gareth Roberts. I say it's a show. It's just us talking briefly about Liverpool this week, and it's dominated by Dortmund.
Yeah, can't wait. We're going in the morning, aren't we?
Going in the morning very early. Gibbo picking me up very, very early. Stupid o'clock. Gibbo right now is actually watching Borussia Dortmund play football. He's doing his own scouting report. Robbo.
Yeah, I know.
Working very hard over there.
We just got some exclusive footage of it, which Matt's going to
drop into this. So right now you might be looking at him doing the thing. You might just drop it in, and this could be the voice going over.
He's got a really serious face, making loads of notes.
Honestly, the things he doesn't know about Dortmund aren't worth knowing. I'm going to tell you that right now. There's talk that Klopp's going to be on the phone because he's not been able to watch them much this season. Could be saying, Gibbo, any hopes?
He was good, lad.
He was good. So we're going off to Dortmund. Everyone's excited. It's going to be a great game this week. Just a good piece in the Echo by Neil Jones. And it says this: there's 5 Liverpool players on a yellow card. If they get booked in this, they miss the second leg. Can you name them off the top of your head?
So they've been booked in Europe.
What has he got? 1 or 2 bookings. So if they get booked again, basically, bang, they're in trouble.
Sacco?
No.
Lovren?
Yes. Lovren's 1 of the 5.
Moreno?
2.
Chan?
No. I thought it might be Chan. It's a piece of luck it isn't.
Henderson?
No.
Thinking of people Klein?
Klein, 3. And now it gets a bit unlikely because the other 2 are Coutinho and Firmino.
Really?
Yeah, the other 2 are Coutinho and Firmino, and I think I don't think Liverpool would want the option of not having anyone. I actually think it's a slight boost in a sense that we know Emre Can can't play against Stoke. I mean, it clarifies the idea of Emre's playing both of these games. It's quite clear. I don't think there would have been any doubt anyway, but it means that you don't even have to rest him for Stoke. You just can't play him, if you see what I mean. Yeah. That's a positive. Sometimes I think it's good for managers to have decisions made for them to a certain extent.
But the negative is that Dortmund will know all this.
Oh, yeah.
And like we've seen it before, haven't we? In the past.
Yeah.
Chelsea, I'm thinking.
Ruthless with Alonso. Spent an entire game trying to get him booked.
They know that you're on the yellow, and they all have a little word in the dressing room, and then they just chase you around the pitch, winding you up, trying to get you out the game for the next leg if you're a crucial player. Yeah. Yep,
very much so. That is what they do.
That's a worry for Coutinho and Firmino, then. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it is mildly concerning that they'll be spending the game trying to get in Coutinho and Firmino's head. I mean, they've got to be quite disciplined. They've got to keep their heads through the game. A lot from Moreno and Klein, it's one of them where they're just... I mean, part of being a defender is you're going to pick up the occasional card. You can't and ah about this. I think it's a shame, but we'd have to find some sort of way to cope.
Flanagan's still not in the European squad.
We couldn't. So if either of the fullbacks got themselves into a spot of bother, I'm not quite sure what he'd do. It could well be James Milner. Yet again.
All the best, yeah. Go on, lads. You're getting daggers off some people. Go and play in another position, mate, and get more of them.
Yeah, and I'm up against loads of dead fast lads.
Yeah. All the best.
Yeah, indeed. There's something linking us in the Echo to a Real Madrid winger who's been on loan called Lucas Vazquez, and we don't know anything about him. I don't really want to talk to you about Lucas Vazquez. I'm doing a gutter later on today, and what struck me in the last 4 to 6 weeks is I can never remember, and I don't think it's just a new manager factor, I can never remember the rumours coming as thick and fast at this stage of the season about everyone in Liverpool are meant to be talking to. For me, it's the most intense I can remember. It's gone beyond just the international week, and it's not just the ins, it's also the outs. This for me, it feels silly season territory. It actually feels like we're in silly season territory, and we're not. We've got a European quarter-final coming up. Normally it stops now, but it isn't stopping.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how much that's down to summer football and all the rest of it, and just wanting it boxed before the Euros. Maybe that's the thing that managers often say, isn't it? That they want it sorted before they go. And there's the thing as well about if you're after a certain player and then he then goes to the Euros and plays well, you're paying another 5-10 million and whatever. So maybe it's a thing that they want the business done early. We've heard that before. All the best with that if that's the case, because you just can't. I don't think you can legislate. I don't think you can say we want to do this, because it requires so many things to come together to make it happen, doesn't it? I think the players got to want it, the agents got to want it, the other clubs got to want it. You've got to bid the right amount of money, all that. And so, I mean, if that is what they're doing, good.
I think you can have a force of will with it, and then it needs the right person. It could be that Klopp is the right person, but I think, for instance, just hypothetically speaking, if you were to say, we want it done by this point when you enter into a negotiation, and whoever's entering into the negotiation, because it almost certainly won't be the manager, but he can say, he said to me, we're going to pull out, we're just going to kill it. we're just going to say, well, we're no longer interested. If you actually believe someone like it's all going off, if you actually believe that someone like Jurgen Klopp is prepared to say, you know what, there's tons of footballers, and I think if any manager comes off with the idea of, well, you know what, there's tons of footballers, and I'll find another one and we'll make it work, it could be Klopp. But that said, you're right to say that, you know, there's so many things that can go wrong with these deals, and then, you know, what I'm sure the club doesn't want is another Dele Alli thing where they're getting slaughtered for not buying someone because they didn't do that, and all that nonsense, which I still think was fundamentally unfair, to be honest with you, in that loads of clubs didn't sign Dele Alli, only one did. All that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't bother to be talking about Dele Alli again. But Joe Allen's like I put on Twitter this morning, he's in contract limbo, mate. The last talk of a contract for him was a good while ago now, and he'll be in his last year come the summer. It's still up in the air. He's one that's, you know, there's a lot of speculation around him. So I did the little Twitter poll this morning to see whether people wanted to talk to Joe about the chickens, whether they wanted him to stay, whether they wanted him to go. Last time I looked, most people
his contract out.
Yeah, most people were saying that they think they should give him a new contract, but a lot of people were saying, you know, I don't think he's good enough. He's not good enough for our ambition and all that. What a point of thought a lot of them were missing, and I went back to a few of them was, but we need a squad, lads. You know, you can have a strong 11, but then you need the people around the edge who are willing to come in. Whether Joe's happy with being that man, I don't know. That's another question. Yeah. But to just say he hasn't got sufficient quality because he wouldn't get in the 11 of whoever, Man City, Arsenal, whatever. Well, I'm not sure about that argument.
Well, there is the argument that, for instance, Fabian Delph wouldn't necessarily get in our 11. Though I like Fabian Delph, I think he's a really good player, and I wouldn't have had a problem if we'd have bought him. But but he's in their squad, and that, you know, you look through a lot of these squads, and I'm just sort of looking at them going, well, you wouldn't necessarily have him in our 11. There is an interesting thing, I think, at the moment where, for instance, we haven't got no English side, sort of got the super squad thing that used to be not prevalent as such, but, you know, you go back to the middle of the previous decade when Chelsea could make 4 changes and look absolutely busted. United could do the same thing, and they had the strength and depth of people like Darren Fletcher, who, you know, was a really good, strong pro who knew his job. Whereas I think at the minute you're looking in everyone's got weird holes. And whether or not that gets addressed this summer, I don't know. I think it's...
Well, you can't do everything in one window is the other thing, isn't it? I mean,
that is the key.
You know, like, we were talking Spurs in depth on yesterday's free podcast, and one of the things on that, we were saying, you know, you just can't fix everything at once. And what's interesting about this summer, I think, is almost what Klopp doesn't do as much as he does. So, you know, does he... it's easy to go, we need a new keeper, we need a new left back, we need a better centre midfielder, we need a new forward, we need a winger, you know, go through all these names and these positions, but you can't fix them all in one window. It's just not possible, is it?
But the other thing as well is that I think you're also defined by your outs, and I think this is something that people don't, and myself included, years gone by, I'm very intrigued. If you could give me I almost think I could get more of an idea as to what we're going to do and how we're going to be next season if I was to get a magical list of all of our outs, then get a magical list of all of our ins. The ins would obviously be more exciting, but the outs and the amounts we were getting for them would be the things that make you go.
There's loads of assumptions, isn't there? You can go, oh, well, I assume Balotelli will go, I assume Benteke will go, I assume maybe Joe Allen will go. But who's buying them? How much are they paying?
Yeah.
It's all that, isn't it?
All that indeed. Underneath this, put your ideal numbers. I'm not asking for names, I'm not asking for ideas, just the ideal numbers of outs. How many would you get rid of if you look at the Liverpool squad? And by that I mean anyone who's played 10 senior games for Liverpool. Not this season, but how many would you be looking to shift? Because I do think it is the interesting thing, because we've seen at times this season, for a variety of reasons, we've needed the whole of this squad. We've needed to use practically everybody, and there's the lads coming back on loan. So just put the ideal number of outs. That's what we're going to be talking about on the gutter with Rob Gutman. Going into the gutter today, he's back from holiday, and he's on his first day back. He's running into the studio because all these transfer rumours, they reckon his head man, he's got to go somewhere with this energy that he's got. And also coming out today is Tuesday Review with Sean Rogers and with Paul Senior. It was excellent yesterday, really enjoyed it. It was a game you could really get your teeth into. On that note, I loved doing the main Monday free podcast yesterday. If you haven't listened to it, or even if you have, it's a really good one. I'd really like you to share it, to be honest with you, share that content with as many people as possible. People who are a bit sceptical or don't think podcasts are for them or anything like that. I thought it was a really good window into what we do. So if you can do that for us, that's great. But obviously, you're all busy people. You've all got jobs. You've all got lives. That's the Anfield wrap. See you tomorrow.